Hi, I'm Jennifer Soames, traumatic brain injury survivor and advocate, holistic health professional, and author of Head of Hope, a resource and empowerment guide for living and thriving with a traumatic brain injury. Welcome to another episode of the TBI Diaries. Today's episode, TBI and depression. Did you know that depression affects at least 53% of TBI survivors in the first year? That is according to a research study conducted by the University of Washington in my hometown of Seattle, and published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, for those of you who like research. So know that depression is actually a very common thing with TBI. Here's the deal. When you incur brain damage, you also change your neurochemistry. And this means the different neurotransmitters and other chemicals in your brain that regulate things like mood and a whole bunch of other physiology. And so to be diagnosed with depression is really just something that comes along with this whole experience for a lot of people. Maybe or maybe not for you, but just know that it's something that occurs often within the first year following a TBI. But in the research that I've done and the studies that I've seen, depression can show up as late as 6 years after your actual TBI. So just become aware of what depression symptoms look like, what they are, and just become aware of them so that if you start to notice what they are in yourself, then you can ask for help if you want it. Some of the signs and symptoms of depression include just a really decreased interest in the things that you usually love to do. Sometimes the hardest part is getting yourself to do the things that you really love to do, and once you do them, you may experience less enjoyment or fulfillment by doing those things. For me, getting out of bed in the morning was the most challenging thing ever. And at first I didn't understand why. And I did learn that there are a couple other reasons why it was hard for me to get out of bed, but depression was definitely a significant part of that. My body felt heavy, like it was filled with sand, and it could take me up to about 2.5 hours to be able to get out of bed because I just did not have the energy. It also affects things like appetite and libido and concentration. So know that depression is so much more than just the ability to think positively. And so do some homework on it and get informed about what the symptoms are so that you can identify them in yourself if you start to see them. And knowing that depression is a really common thing with TBI, I think the more that we start to talk about it and take away some of the social stigma around mental health, that, it's something that there's something that's wrong with us, I think that we can start to come to terms with it more easily and also reach out for help sooner and with less or no shame would be my hope. Because just as if you were to, cut your hand or go into the doctor or pharmacy because you have a cold, like we often don't have any shame around that. It's like, oh yeah, I've got a cold. I need some Kleenex and some other things to help me. So the same can be said with depression. It's not your fault, right? You damaged your brain and that changes everything. And these things are not about how strong you are, which is something I definitely butted up against, even more recently in dealing with depression. It's like, oh, I thought that I'm strong enough to be able to overcome this. And I had to get really real with myself and go, it's not about that at all. You have a chemical imbalance in your brain and you need some help with that as well. Know that there are lots of different options for treatment and for support. You can use pharmaceuticals, you can use supplements, and there's also counseling and self-care and so many other things that you can do to ask for help and to support yourself in your own process. You can read more about my own experience with depression here in Head of Hope, as well as learn some things that you can do for yourself in addition to nutrition and things like that as well. If you have any questions or comments about this topic, comment down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And if you would like more information or to order the book, please visit headofhope.com for everything you need to know there. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel here at Head of Hope so that you stay tuned and up to date with the latest TBI Diaries episodes. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.